couple years ago, I made a video about World War II Grasshopper artillery spotters, the plane who was fitted with 6 bazookas turning into a fairly friendly anti-tank platform. I'll do a video later in the month. Now, this weapon, as the bazooka, was adapted with the GIs. Then, the most designer of Major Bazooka, Charlie Carpenter, and his Grasshopper was one example. His men was thinking outside the box. This M6 wartime rocket was tough enough to use. The bazooka entered service in 1942. In the early wars of World War II versions, the M1 and the M1A1 was fired at a 2.36-inch rocket, which penetrated 3 inches of armor plate. It provided infantry with a man-portable recoilless anti-tank weapon, which could hit targets greater than ranges conversely thrown grenade or mine, as well as effective against many Axis armored vehicles as tanks, and very effective against enemy bunkers and machine gun ports. The Germans were so impressed by captured designs have increased the rocket size and Prokjov as Panzerstrike, or anti-tank weapon, a weapon to US bazooka. The improved World War II M9 bazooka could penetrate 4 inches of armor plates and had entered service in 1943. The bazooka was ironic and named one of the most United States Ford tools of victory, along with the Jeep and C-440 Skytrain transport aircraft. And the atomic bomb, the bazooka inventor Colonel Edward Dwight only passed away in 2012 at the age of 92. The bazookas soon found their way into another tools of victory, and the Jeep's amazing 4x4 quarter-ton that served Allied forces in every theater of World War II. The Jeep began to be armored during the later stage of World War II, in particular of those used by U.S. cavalry divisions, and the Renaissance in advancing infantry and armored divisions. The western front of the armor that was added in the field consisted in the main front of section of 5 to 16-inch steel plates and was folded into 3 section openings. In the first, smaller armor plate was angled to cover the vulnerable radiator and the grille of the vehicle. Several Jeeps received twin bazookas adapted to fitter of standard 30 to 50 caliber machine gun ports. Mount of the Jeep's floor. For example, the 22nd Airborne Division. The field adapted several Jeeps and the Battle of Bulge, giving the Renaissance and the elements of serious supplies, and coupled with Jeep speed and vulnerability to small profile in Italy, the Allied forces of the sluggish against the German defense lines, tanks that have not been seen and developed in Italy before. The infantry effective of the bunker-strong eliminating weapon.
With BARs and machine guns.
Bars and machine guns. In one unit, the GI took the novel approach to fitting a Jeep with not only 2 but 4 bazookas, creating a little rocket barrage of 4 weapons being fired.
The result was a small-sized artillery attack. Bazooka quadruplets. 4-way murder with a purpose.
The highly maneuverable and lightweight Jeep platform was very well in the mountain terrains of the Italy countryside, and producing such unofficial weapons of the ideology of the experience of against dug-in German troops, advance of the Jeep and mortars barrage, and the ability to fire and move and to get another position before the enemy could pinpoint the firing of those rockets. Behind the invulnerability of the U.S. bazooka army, it was officially created by a more potential and more anti tank weapon. A 57 and a 75mm recoil slot rifle was mounted on the modified Jeeps and U.S. Airborne divisions, and has used the varieties of Airborne Crossing River Rhine of March 1945. It brought the battle by glitter.
The recoilless rifle has a range of 2.5 miles.
Another weapon system has defined the ways of the humble Jeep, with high explosive rockets, and developed by Ketching California Institute of Technology and the U.S. Navy's Jeep-mounted 4.5-inch rocket tubes, usually fired from a special U.S. rocket ships that will shore and bombard the amphibious operations. Ultimately, this came to nothing use, and being more sensitivity of rockets. However, the Red Army, which used the U.S.-supplied Jeeps in large numbers, had 12 rocket Jeeps units, which armed themselves with 12 Rail M16 82mm rocket launchers at the end of 1944. Bye.